My name's Kevin Brumel, and I'm the production manager on Lestat, and we're in the Palace Theater in the middle of Loden for the show, where we set up all of the scenery and technical pieces of the show while the cast is in the studio rehearsing. It all starts with the designer's concept on paper, and we take it from there. We figure out how to build it and whether this winch is going to be able to move it or not, or whether a stagehand's going to push it. So it's just a constant learning process, basically, a long learning process, and it all comes together at the last minute, and we have a performance. We essentially have two different kinds of scenery, or we classify them two different ways. We have hanging scenery, which flies up and down on bars, and we have deck scenery, which rolls on and off on the floor. The point of the process we're in now is we have just about all of our hanging scenery here. So we've spent the last week hanging all of these pieces in the air, which involves bringing these pipes, we call them battens, in, hanging the piece of scenery, building it however we have to onto the pipe. The pipes are all counterweighted so that one person can move these heavy walls in and out, or a small winch can move them. So that's a time-consuming process, building each piece. Obviously this big wall didn't fit on a truck just like that. It's broken up into probably a dozen different pieces that all magically disappear when it's put together. These lights that we see hanging in vertical rows just came in this morning. We've just been hanging them. And those are what we call light ladders. They are often the wings. It is a pretty large show in terms of shows these days. We have a lot of projection in the show, and something we don't have yet that I can't show you is we have 10, or actually 11 flats, if you will, that are projection surfaces, and they travel back and forth across the stage. This silver truss is what is going to hold them, and it's a really beautiful piece of scenery that we're able to project on to add a dimension to it. Each projector is operated from a Macintosh G5 computer with customized software to operate the video from. It's pretty substantial when you consider the lighting computers and the projection computers and the sound computers, and then the computers for the automated moving scenery. So from this position, we can see the show portal, or false proscenium. You can see how we've designed it to fit into the arch of the actual proscenium. You can see the truss that it hangs from, and you can see the framing from the top. Get a sense of how it's built. You know, in a matter of a couple weeks, we'll be doing a rehearsal, and it suddenly looks like a show. Right now, it just looks like a bunch of stuff crammed into the space. But it's the fun for me is watching it just suddenly magically transform into a show. I can relax on April 25th after opening night. I can relax a little bit after the first preview, after the first run-through. We've been able to run through the show once in rehearsal, and everything is operating smoothly, and we've been able to give the director and designers and creative team what they want, what they're hoping to see on stage.